So why not you tell me a bit about your company?
So we are a startup. We come from Binus University. We are just consist of 5 members.
Okay. So when you pitch on stage, what's the first few things? Have you rehearsed your pitch already? I hope so. Not yet. What? You haven't rehearsed your pitch? Okay, well, I guess this is a godsend then. So let's say you were to be pitching right now. How would you start your pitch?
We are from Binus University. Our team name, Code With Us. We consist of 5 members, and we have a great idea.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's the name of your startup again? Villas? What?
Code With Us.
Code With Us. Do you have any traction in your company at all? I mean, have you any customers, any usage? Oh, you haven't launched yet? Okay, you haven't launched yet. All right, okay, this is going to make it a bit more difficult. Do you have any beta testing that you've done?
Currently, yes.
Oh, okay, how many beta testers do you have?
About 30.
30 beta testers? What kind of engagement are you seeing with this 30 beta testers?
I don't know.
Oh, as in like, how are these 30 beta testers using your Code With Us? How are the 30 beta testers using Code With Us?
How they use our application. Yes. So a little bit about our application. It's just like a memo and reminder for everyone. So they just use it in their daily life and report to us the bug that they've discovered.
So your app is like a to-do list for coders? What does your app do?
Our apps do just like a memo for another and location-based reminder. So it will remind you when you arrive in somewhere.
Oh, it's like I'm walking around, I'm passing by a 7-Eleven, and then I get a reminder that I need to pick up a Pocari Sweat, right? Is it? Okay. All right, so it's like a location-based reminder app. And then the 30 people who are beta testing it, they're just testing it for bugs, is it? Oh, this is tricky. Okay, so this is like an early stage pitch. I was hoping to get a founder up here with some traction so I can talk about that. But but you can still do it even though you don't have traction. Okay, let me show you how. Click. Click. Okay. Now, you're in the unique case where you're pitching a startup and you don't have yet any customer traction yet. You don't even have beta testing traction. But for those of you in the room who are pitching with a bit of traction, let's say you have had let's say a few months from now, right? You got 1,000 users. And then they use it every day, right? They use it, say, 5 times a day, right? Let's say. So you would come on stage and you said, hey, I keep forgetting your name. Verico, right? Okay, Verico. So I'm Verico from Code With Us. I've built something that 1,000 people use every day. In fact, they use it so often, they use it like 5 times a day. Let me tell you about that. So if you start with this vague, bold traction, firstly, people like think that, oh, people are actually using your app, so it's not new, right? Something's actually happening. What is it? So at least people feel like they want to know more a little bit, and it's kind of mysterious. Have you guys seen those headlines from BuzzFeed or Viral Nova or Upworthy, where the title of the article is like, I can't believe a grandmother would do such a thing. The truth must be surprising. Right? It's like you get a title like that, you don't know what the article is about. But it kind of like teases you a little bit. So the first 1 or 2 sentences you want when you get on stage, you want to give them something that actually teases them. Now, since you don't have much traction at all, you need to put your best foot forward. And what does that mean? It means that there must be something about you, your team, and your startup which is interesting enough, which is impressive enough that you want to put it forward. So what do you think is so special about your team, since you don't have a product out yet?
We have a creative idea.
Okay, you got a creative idea. Well, what else? All of them have a creative idea too, right? So what else do you think? You guys are from Binus, right? How all of you from Binus? Your whole team or what? Or just okay, your whole team's from Binus, right? Are you guys top students in Binus?
Not top students.
Not top students, average students? Okay, okay, well, okay, I can't use that then. Do you guys win any awards in university? Are you guys notorious in university for hacking the university IT system to redirect all the bandwidth to your dorm rooms? Like, do you do anything spectacular in university?
We are having internship in Binus as associate member.
What?
Associate member in IT division of Binus.
Oh, so you guys are actually working in the IT division. Okay, okay, so check this out, right? So you can come on stage and says, hi, I am Verico. Hi, I'm Verico from Code With Us. My friends and I, we we're students and classmates from Binus University, one of the top universities in Indonesia, and we work within the IT department to build stuff. So we know how to build things. And we've stumbled upon something that we want to build so badly that we went out to build it. Today, let me tell you about that. So what you're trying to say is that I don't know much about you and your team and what else is so special, right? But I'm just guessing that let's say you guys are Binus students who actually are so good coders that you are employed by the university itself to actually build the IT department. I don't know. I'm not asking you to lie, and I don't know if that's really true. But what I'm saying is that I'm trying to fish out something that sounds like it's so special. You put your best foot forward. Some founders, they haven't built out the product yet. They come on stage. Maybe they've worked in a very strong career. They said, oh, me and my partners, we've been doing management consulting with Bain and McKinsey for a few years, and so we decided to leave consulting to build something. And it was a tough decision for us, but the idea was so compelling, we knew we had to do it. But do you want to know what it is? You know, I didn't tell you about my startup, but it feels like you're saying a few things to get them to know more. So this is just the opening first 10 seconds, 20 seconds. You want to throw this out. Click. All right. Now, with the next 20 or 30 seconds, it is going to help you tomorrow, okay? You're going to need this. When you introduce what your application does, it's very important to introduce it from the customer's standpoint. A lot of the times you see you're doing a kind of like a to-do application, right? A to-do reminder application. You can come up there and say, okay, I'm building a to-do reminder application. Or you can say that my application helps forgetful people get reminders, location-based reminders, when they need it and exactly where they need it. So it's kind of like a different way of saying it, but it helps prop you up for the next thing. Now, to give opportunity to another startup who's pitching, I'm going to invite another startup up here. That's okay with you, right? Okay. So any other startup pitching tomorrow? I'm going to use a different startup to use this example. Hey, thank you so much. A big round of applause to this guy. All the best tomorrow. Okay, you, come on up. What's your name? As if I try to remember.
Hello, everyone. My name's Ha, H-A, from Vietnam. Yes.
Oh, cool. Vietnam. Okay, have a seat. I was just with a Toi Moi yesterday. You know her from Tappy? She's your sister?
Yes, sister in society.
Oh, okay. She's like, oh, all right, cool. Thanks, bro. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so what does your startup do?
We are TripMe. We are a travel platform that connect travelers and local experts. So simply it's great for travelers to enjoy amazing experience drafted by experts.
So you connect travelers with experts.
Local experts.
Local experts. And then they come up with activities and...
Yes, activity, tour, experiences.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's say you got on stage tomorrow.
Yes.
And then you said what you said. I think that's actually pretty good. Right?
Yes.
What you said is pretty good because you tackle it a bit from the customer standpoint. It's like I'm Ha from TripMe, and our startup helps travelers connect with local experts to do the kind of things they would never be able to do off a travel guide.
Yes.
Right? So you see, I'm trying to dig deeper into the customer. What does startup actually help the customer do? So the customer is always the anchor.
Yes.
Now, this is important because, hey, stay here, that's fine. This is important for the next thing. Click. This is important to build the story for this. Click. Now, in terms of seeing whether or not this is a great idea or not, right? After you introduce yourself to say, hey, I'm TripMe, we're going to help travelers connect with local experts to do the things they would never be able to do from a travel guide. Now what you want to do to make people think it's a great idea is that you want to amplify this problem in a very big way. You want to I wouldn't say exaggerate, that's just kind of mean, but you want to amplify this problem. So what you want to do is that, can you tell me a story about a customer? I mean, we're just jamming here. Tell me a story about one of your customers who used TripMe, and what kind of things does the customer experience? The pain and the joys of this customer.
Okay, so just recently I got one customer from Singapore, and he really loved calligraphy.
Calligraphy?
Yes, the Vietnamese calligraphy. But it's really hard for him to find the Vietnamese calligraphy class in Ho Chi Minh City because no travel agency offer that kind of experience. So he just found on TripMe, and we have the calligraphy class drafted by calligrapher in Vietnam. And he just go directly book that experience. And that's it, like from customer story. And then after 2 hours learning how to make the Vietnamese calligraphy, so he's draw a painting, calligraphy, as the present to present for his VIP guests.
Wow, so
Yes.
he's building his own. Okay,
For
cool.
the next business meeting.
Okay, that's really
so
cool.
he shared that experience.
That is
to
really,
us.
really cool. So what we want to do is we want to take a story like that, extract the essence, and then push it in about 10 seconds. So you kind of like get your next 10 seconds. Because remember, we only have 3 to 5 minutes, right? So we want to extract these things and pump into small
We
sentences.
have tons of story like that.
I'm sure you got a ton of it.
Yes.
So let me try this, right?
Yes.
Early on, you said you come up, hey, you know, I'm Ha from TripMe. My startup helps travelers connect with local experts so they can do the things that they would otherwise never be able to do in a country, right?
Not in my country, in 36 countries around the globe.
In 36 countries around the globe. Oh, that's even better. That's kind of like a lead attraction thing. How many customers do you have?
We have 4,400 local experts and travelers, and
4,400 experts.
Yes.
And how many travelers have used it?
travelers we start one year and a half.
Yeah.
And on 1 year and a half, we focus on building the inventory.
Yeah.
That's mean the local experts.
Yeah.
And we just focus on the travelers recently.
Yeah.
And increasing the travelers is over like 1,000 travelers.
Okay. So you
Yes.
don't have that much travelers, so
Yes.
let's not talk about that.
No.
That's fine, right? So, so if she popped onto stage, and because she's got some traction, and she led with traction, I would say she would say, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ha from TripMe. I have, in the past 1.5 years, built a network of 4,400 local experts in over 36 countries.
Yes.
And with these experts, we help the traveler experience things that they can never experience anywhere else, anywhere else, right?
Yes.
And then we get to this part about amplifying the problem, is that what you want to do is you want to extract the essence and put it into 10 seconds. And how we can try to do this, one example would be, travelers, every traveler has their own unique needs.
Yes.
Every traveler has their own unique needs. And for example, one of our travelers, one of our recent customers, he likes calligraphy. And if he did not use TripMe, he would just be taken by a tout and get ripped off at a market buying some printed calligraphy. But no, with TripMe, he would connect with a local expert who would teach him, the local legendary 200-year-old calligrapher who taught him the dark arts of calligraphy, and then he right? Now you click on the next thing. Okay, click on the next thing. All right. And this is when you take an essence of a story, you suddenly want to juxtapose this to a very large number of travelers. Right? How many travelers travel to the 36 countries? Give me a stat of travelers.
We just have like travels in 5 countries.
Okay.
Yes, in Southeast Asia. And for 36 countries, that recently we expand from just 2 months. We expand from 21 countries.
So how many travelers might travel to these 5?
Our travelers from many different countries.
Yeah,
Europe,
sure. Maybe
US,
100 million
100,
travelers every year?
Yes.
Okay. So what you want to say is that, we backtrack just now to say that you amplify the problem. You can say that every traveler has a unique problem or unique interest. And, oh yeah, stand up if you want, yes. Okay, easier for you. No, that's fine, that's cool. Yeah. All right, so so just now we talked about calligraphy example, right? So every customer traveling has their own unique needs. One recent customer of ours wanted to get involved in calligraphy. And if he would not use TripMe, he would get ripped off by touts and bought some secondhand crap in the market. But with TripMe, we got a 200-year-old calligrapher to teach him the dark arts of Vietnamese calligraphy, and then now he's like a master himself.
Yes.
Can you imagine the hundreds of millions of travelers every year to these countries who have 100 million unique needs they want from local experts? That's what we do. So you see what I did? We took one example, and then we juxtaposed it, we contrasted it with the big number.
To the market opportunity.
Exactly. We compared it to the big market opportunity. So where did I learn this trick? I actually learned it from Obama. When you notice Obama's speeches, what he likes to say is that all Americans, from the child who's coming home from a school in Louisiana, to the farmer in Tennessee who's toiling for their daughters, I want all hundreds of Americans to so he does this all the time. I'm like, stop it, Obama. Why do you keep doing that? But he loves doing that. He'll take that small emotional example and he'll stretch it across a large number. So by doing that, that's maybe another 20 seconds. You stuff in that 20 seconds, boom, you get this what a great idea effect. Right? I like working with you. Let's work on the next slide together. Click. Okay. Yeah, I want to spend. Yeah, stay here. This is fun. Right. So this is going to be huge. Let's move on to the third effect. Click. 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 Okay. Right. I want to preface this to say that a lot of startups, when they pitch, they like to talk about the total addressable market, or they talk about the industry size. They do market sizing by doing top-down figures. They'll say, and I saw this, true story, this is in a Singapore pitch. The guy came on stage. We're building a startup at the intersection of fashion, e-commerce, and social. Each of these industries is 9 trillion. This one's 26 trillion, and this 75 trillion. And these little footnotes according to Forrester 2050 reports. We're like, what? What does that even mean? So all these big numbers from the top, like the travel industry is worth 900 trillion every year, for example, these big numbers, right? I'm not a fan of big numbers. To me, like a lot of it is very, it's too vague, right? And people are always throwing out a lot of that type of a big number. So earlier, you already threw out a big number. What you want to do is you want to get a ground-up, a bottom-up market sizing approach. What does that mean? A bottom-up sizing approach means number of customers you think you can foreseeably reach, right? Number of travelers you can foreseeably reach, and and then later you can build how exactly you reach them. So the number of, for example, for your company, maybe you can reach like 100,000 travelers in the first year. Yes. Let's say. How much money do you think that'll make you if you reach 100,000 travelers on TripMe?
For the first year?
Yeah, first year. How much money would that make you?
I have no idea about it because our story different. We not get 100,000 of travelers in.
Do you monetize each traveler? Yes. Because they buy something, right? They buy a package for local travel. So let's say, for example, with 100,000 travelers, we're monetizing an average of $10 per traveler. Let's say you can take a rake of $10 per traveler, right? You sell me a $50 package, you get 20%. So we're making an average of $10 per traveler. At 100,000 travelers alone, we'll be already making $1 million in our first year. So you see this number, it's not as big a number, it's like a 9 trillion market opportunity, but it is, how you say, a more believable number. At only 100,000 customers, you can build $1 million business, for example.
But how about if I target like, our number not like travelers, our numbers that the number of the experiences by local experts, because we need to have more inventory.
Well, it sounds like you already have like a ton of inventory, but over here, if you want to paint a picture of market sizing, that this is going to be huge. If you talk about the amount of people who are willing to, like the calligraphy guy and all of that, that's okay. You talked about it earlier. Yes. But what you want to do is that you want to say that your company, how much money it's going to make or how much growth it's going to have, it's going to be huge. That's the story that you want to tell. So which is why you need to, again, from the customer perspective. With only 100,000 travelers like Joseph the calligrapher, with 100,000 of these folks, we'll be already making $1 million business. So the anchor is always customer. You started at customer, you're still talking to customer, everyone's still thinking about the calligraphy guy painting his thing, you still have the anchor. So people won't get lost. And you're saying with 100,000 calligraphers, travelers with unique needs like Joseph, the calligrapher, you can already do $1 million a year business. And we are reaching out to these travelers via Pinterest. And with our Pinterest account, we've already gotten the first 1,000 travelers. See, so again, you're building more believability behind this number. Then on the third one, you're saying that how big of a business you'll be if you did reach X number of customers, right? So you're saying that at our peak, my dream is to have 1 million travelers a year get local experiences. And at that point, we're at $10 million a year business. So at this point, you people are saying that, wow, okay, this company not bad. They already have some traction. They're, in the first year, maybe I can help them get, $1 million a year revenue. That's good. 1 million travelers, not too crazy. $10 million a year business. Wow, what if I can help them do 10 million travelers, right? And you can, of course, for more advanced things, you can juxtapose that with Agoda and a few other things to show that you're only 1% of competitors. But that's more advanced shit. But I hope you guys get this idea that instead of throwing out the big number of the giant industry, top down, you take bottom-up numbers for your business. One customer makes you this. 1,000,000, 100,000 customers makes you this. My dream is get 1 million customers. Boom. Next slide. Okay, so we're closing into the fourth and the fifth effect already. This is the team to do it. Now, one big challenge I see, right, is that with 3 minutes you have, some founders get on stage, and then they're like, all right, this is my team. This is Ringo, right? She's a UX rock star. And then this is Bobby. Bobby is our expert CTO. And then this is Ronaldo, our business development manager. It's like, they start telling me names of these people and what they do. You know what? I don't know whether Bobby is excellent. Like, I don't know about Ringo and like who the hell's Ringo anyway. So a lot of startups end up wasting a good 30, 50 seconds just rambling on who's in your team and they're rock stars and ninjas and pirates and all that. So what I would say is that we need to give them the effect that you guys have the best team to do it. So maybe you can tell me, why do you think you guys got the best team to do it?
Okay, to be able to achieve that goal, here's my team. I'm Harlem, 8 years experiences in travel industry. My co-founder, products guy, 10 years experience in building the products for 5 million users. And our president director was a Navy SEAL as well as the global tech speaker, and as well as our business mentor. Our design mentor was work for FBI, NASA for data visualization.
Did the mentor invest in the company? Did your mentor invest in the company?
Yes.
Invested as well, right? Okay, so it's always stronger to call them an investor than a mentor. Because like saying that, oh, I have all these advisors, all these mentors who didn't invest in me, it's kind of like subtle, but it's like, why did they invest in you if you're so awesome?
Because
so call them investor.
So our investor, because he wants to keep it secret.
Oh, you want to keep it secret? Okay, that's maybe a special case. So I think you're doing a good job. You're kind of saying these few things. Now, the guy who's a Navy SEAL,
Yes.
how is he relevant to your business again?
He's have the huge network.
Yo, he's a really connected
Yes,
guy.
he's also the
Can you talk to the mic? Talk to the mic.
He's have the huge network around the globe, and he's also global tech speaker.
TED, TED speaker.
TED
Oh, got
speaker.
it, TED.
So
Right,
with
got it.
his help, we can grow globally very fast. With his
Fantastic, fantastic. Click, click, click. Hey, no, back, sorry, back. Okay, done. So, before you introduce your team, what you want to do is that you want to talk about the core competencies required for your company to win. So you're going to say that for my business, for TripMe to serve 1 million travelers a year, we're going to need the best people from the travel industry. Check. We're going to need the best people from the travel industry. We're going to need coders who have built products used by millions, and we're going to need people of global networks to help our global expansion. And it just so happened, I, as a co-founder, I've been in the travel industry for 15 years. And my co-founder, the coder, he's built products used by 5 million people. And our business expansion investor, like he was a Navy SEAL and a global TED speaker, and he is super connected in every other market. Yeah, you get what I mean?
Yes.
So you're trying to qualify not so much that they're awesome, but this is what it takes to win, and our team has these people to win. So use the same 30 seconds, but use it in this format. It has more impact that your team's the one to do it. Okay, next. How do you make them feel? Maybe you tell me. How do you make them feel like they want to be a part of your startup?
You mean my team or
Everybody, investors people want to join, media wants to write about it, and also investors want to invest. How would you go about that?
Okay, so everyone has a different discipline and characteristics. Some can show they can offer you a generous range of unmatched experiences. Some can show you the exciting city life, while others are passionate about the tradition, the locals, do what the locals do. So I have been talking a lot. So whilst I want to, so with TripMe, we want everybody in this room can benefit from Trip. So you can be our local experts to share and preserve the local culture. You can be our travelers to enjoy amazing experiences wherever you go. You can be our ambassadors, and you can be our partners.
Okay, good. So what she's trying to do here to encourage investors and people to be part of a story is that you're trying to deepen the emotional effect of your dream. That's what you're trying to do. That's good. That's one way to do it, and there are many ways to achieve this effect. Again, this whole presentation is not about like what exactly to say, but what things you can do to achieve the effects in a shortest amount of time. So you're trying to give them a reiteration of the vision so they feel emotionally compelled. So let's say we use this with less words. We can say, okay, so I've talked a lot about TripMe. and what TripMe does for individual travelers. The next time you think about traveling with your family and you think about what your daughter wants to do and you want a local expert to give you and your family that experience which is unforgettable, think of all the millions of travelers who want the same thing, right? And if you want that too, for your family and for all these travelers, right? Like, I'm looking specifically for travel experts to invest in this company. If you're not a travel expert, like, I'm happy to work with you too on different things, but currently we've got a small allocation in our round allocated just for investors who have invested in travel companies, for example. So it's very qualified. So click, click, click. Oh, back. Okay. So hence, to get this, I want to be part of this effect, the final effect, right? You want to summarize, you'll put your best foot forward, and here what you're trying to do is that with your vision, you're trying to do that. Or you can also summarize the key highlights, right? And say that, oh, okay, we've got X amount of what, we're ready to da-da-da. You can summarize a few key things. And just now what I was saying here is that, what kind of investor or what exact help that you need? Because it's like kind of like a reverse sell. You're not going up on stage and saying, I don't want anyone to invest in me, I want anyone to help me. It kind of makes you look a bit more desperate. It's kind of like I'm so legit that I'm going to choose who I need to work with me. And this is the exact kind of people I need. So you're trying to pre-qualify them.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So we're looking for the investor who travel in Hertz and love to have for local experts to share and reserve culture.
Yeah. Okay, sounds like what's authentic to you is like you really believe in the vision and of what you're doing. So it's good for you to use that. I think that's really cool. Now let's start again. Not start again, but next slide. Okay, let's say you want to pitch it again in a very quick version of a pitch. Now that you've learned some of these things, how would you do it? And let's just play. It's fun. Let's try it from the start.
What time is it now?
We probably have 3 or 4 minutes left, I think. So we're just about to end. So let's do a 1-minute version, like a speed version.
Okay. So good morning. How many of you traveling to Indonesia for this particular event? So for
let me just speech. Okay, that's fine. Let me help you. Okay, let me try. I'm gonna play, right? So hi, I'm Ha from TripMe. In the past 1.5 years, I have built a network of 4,400 travelers in 36 countries, right? Providing local experiences to travelers. Our recent traveler stories include like a girl who was looking to make jewelry to a man called Joseph who has an interest in calligraphy. When Joseph came to Vietnam, instead of getting ripped off by a second-hand merchant who took him to a market, on TripMe, he found like a 105-year-old calligraphy master, right, to teach him the dark arts of Vietnamese calligraphy. And then he became a master himself. Now, think of the hundreds and millions of travelers going to these countries with their own unique needs and wants who may find a local expert helpful to fulfill that, right? That's what TripMe does. And, that's what TripMe does. And with serving just 100,000 of these travelers like Joseph, we're going to be raking in $10 per average transaction, and we're going to do $1 million business with just 100,000 customers. And we're already using Pinterest and a variety of methods to get our first 1,000 that fast, My dream is to get 1 million travelers on this. And when we hit that milestone of 1 million travelers, that's a $10 million a year business. But to do this, we're going to need a team that is so good at travel, that is so excellent in global networks to globally expand, and who can build a product that can serve millions of users. And that's what I've built. I am Ha. I've had 8 years of travel industry experience. My co-founders built products for 5 million people, and we've got this Navy SEAL who knows like people, and TED speaker who knows people. Yeah, we have a huge network across the world, right? Because he's like a global tech speaker. So with this in mind, I want the next time you think about traveling, I want you to think about your daughter and what she wants out of that trip. I want you to think about what unique thing you want when you go to Vietnam. And if TripMe can give that experience to you, let's work together to give this to hundreds of millions of people, all these travelers every single year. And to do this, I'm looking for, right now, I've got a small allocation in my round just for travel industry experts and veterans who invest in travel. And I would love to meet with you. If you don't happen to be a traveler, that's cool too. You can be a trip advisor, you can be an ambassador, and I'd love to connect, right? Because travel impacts everyone. And it's good that I had a chance to speak to you. Thank you very much. I'm Ha Blam. And you're kind of done. So that was like 1 minute-ish, too? I don't know. How fast was that? Maybe 1.5 minutes. But you get what I mean, right? Is that we extracted the essence of it and we're just trying to cram it a little bit into, okay, if I'm thinking 50 seconds, how can I change the words to say this in 20 seconds? And if you just take all the information and you kind of like push it in to arrange them around the 5 effects, you've got a pretty good pitch. So let's go through a recap of these five effects. Click. I want to know more.
Yes.
No. Yeah. What a great. These are the effects, not what you say. Again, these are the effects, right? Yeah. What a great idea. This is going to be huge. This is the team to do it, and I want to be a part of this. Arrange your content and what you want to say around these 5 effects. They don't have to go 1 to 5. But preferably number 1 goes first, and the rest of them you can kind of shuffle it around. But in 3 minutes, if you miss out on any of this, then I think you're severely lacking in that pitch, right? Big round of applause to Ha. Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Good luck tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow in your pitch. Regards to Tui. All right. So in closing, click. To thank Startup Asia for being such kind and generous hosts to give me this stage time. I'd like to work with your startup on your pitch. If you're pitching tomorrow or whatnot, you email me. Yeah, click. You email me your pitch deck, and you tweet me on my Twitter. Say, hey, Khailee, I've sent you my pitch deck. So that's my email address. And then I'll check my Twitter, and I'll look for your pitch deck, and I'm going to give you some quick feedback in time for your pitch tomorrow. But even if you're not pitching tomorrow and you just want to get some quick feedback on your pitch, you can send that to me as well. All right? So this is the 5 effects of pitching. Good luck in the pitches for the rest of your life. And with the power of your pitch, outside of pitching investors, I hope you can pitch your mom and dad to convince them you're doing the right thing with your startup. I hope that you can use this pitch to pitch all these C players to join you, or pitch those A players to join your team. So you're not just pitching investors, you're pitching media, you're pitching your parents, and most importantly, when things go really tough with your company and shit's not going well, you can look yourself in the mirror and at least you can pitch yourself. Because if you cannot excite yourself, if you cannot pitch yourself, you're not going to be able to pitch anybody. So send me your pitch decks. Thank you.
Thanks, Khailee. Just a minute. Any questions for Khailee? Any questions? All right. Okay. Okay, there you go.
Hello.
What's up?
Fine. My name is Camilo. I'm from Colombia. And my question is, when you are looking in a startup or in a startup founder team, like you look more for in their pitch, you look for more people that know how to make business, or for people that are technically good.
Well, I'll return the question to you to say that what kind of startup are you building? Let's say, for example, you're building a very core technology. You've got like a search algorithm that searches better than Google, right? What does it take for your team to win at your business? If it takes like primarily very strong technical talent, then it's important to say that your team has this. If let's say you're building something in the travel industry, like Ha was building, you'd want your team to have deep travel experience. So I would ask you to ask yourself, like, what kind of skills or competencies or unfair advantages you would need to win. And then you would want to tell people that your team has these competencies.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? I'm not going to drag you up on stage, so you can ask. Camilo, at a glance, you look like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hi, Khailee. I'm Daniel from After Fire Global.
Hi.
Right. My question is, nowadays quite a lot of startup, they are building the business is like replicating the business model. So based on what you mentioned just now, the 5 effect, right? So what is the thing that when, for example, this kind of business model very successful in US, and right now we want to bring into Indonesia or Malaysia market. So how a founder, they can do the good presentation? What is the thing we can emphasize?
Well, the good thing about having a couple of benchmarks of business models that's already been done is that you can cite different examples under the "this is going to be huge" effect. You're trying to create that effect that this is going to be huge, and you say that, all right, I'm doing lead generation for professionals and home professionals, and in the US, Thumbtack is already worth $500 million US. In Europe, Rocket Internet launched this. You know, in China, they launched this, all billion. So, but Indonesia, we are the market leader. So you could use some of those benchmarks and try to create that effect that, you know, it's going to be huge because of that. It's like already proven. So it's quite good, actually.
Okay. For example, like Afterfive.com is something like we are a marketplace for people to buy and sell service online. It's actually like very successful model in
Is
the
it like
US.
TaskRabbit?
No, it's a Fiverr. Actually.
Oh, it's like Fiverr. Okay.
Then we try to, to localize into the Malaysian market and also like Indonesia market.
Yeah.
So what is, I'm concerned about that. We can use all the statistics, from US and also European, but that we were looking for investor that they can see that it's a huge market in Malaysia, Indonesia market because a lot of talents.
You need to juxtapose it with bottom-up stats, right? So for I would try to say that right now, let me ask you, how many people do you believe will be buying services off Fiverr in the first year of your business? Malaysia and Indonesia.
Actually, for Malaysia, Indonesia, that if we specify in this kind of like writing and also designing,
Just hit me a number.
will be 1,000 over per month.
Okay, so let's say 100,000 a year. Let's say, okay, 100,000 a year. How much do you make per Fiverr? You make $1 US, $2 US?
You mean transaction or what?
Yeah, per transaction. How much do you make?
20%, yeah. Will be, for example, like Malaysia, 50 ringgit is around 3 ringgit.
Okay, so
per
let's say $1
transaction,
US. Let's say $1 US, right?
Yep.
So your bottom-up stats is that with 100,000 users a month, you can make $100,000 a month.
Yep.
That's kind of your bottom-up stat. So to your question of how do you create like not illusion, but how do you create the effect of a large market with bottom-up stats? You need to start doing some of those bottom-up sizing, so people know that even with just 100,000 users, you're gonna make 100,000 users a month. You'll be making $100,000 a month, and then you juxtapose later that say this model is already an X 100 million model in all these other countries, you know, and you want to be the first to bring it to Southeast Asia. So you just supplement them with both. Okay, so
right.
I'm gonna get this. They're gonna put a video of this online, and I can send you these slides if you need, right? But just think a bit about not what you want to say, but what kind of effect you want to achieve. Then you backtrack to just ask yourself, okay, what can I say? What can I share that helps people achieve this effect? Then you practice it with a couple of investor buddies and founder buddies. You know, then at least you get that approach correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, one last question, perhaps. Okay, well, I guess. Oh, okay, here we go.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, bro. I forgot your name, sorry.
Ryan?
Yeah, hi, Ryan.
Okay, hi.
I'm actually from the out-of-home industry in advertising.
Out-of-home advertising, like
Yeah.
billboards and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but
okay.
I'm not doing this kind of startup things. But I'm just look at your mentoring just now is so cool. So I want to ask, and maybe you can share to others whether how can you become maybe a mentor or a motivator for some startup, so all people that like the first example of the people that he doesn't know what he want to do, but the second one, you know, she do something well, and then you just teach her, and then she will get some insights, the new insights. So how do you have any idea that how can we be your student or something like that? You can share something more about that, or just we need to sign up for the email, or just like that, because
Okay.
it's kind of amazing.
No, thank you for your kind comments. You know, I'd allow you to ramble on for another 20 minutes, you know, but but to answer your question directly, your question was that when you meet a mentor that you really, how would you want to get more mentorship from someone like myself, right? That's kind of your question. Now, what I think about a lot is that there's a lot of different mentors in this world who are very strong at different things. I've got my strengths, but I'm weak and terrible at 99% of the things that I try to do, right? And I try to do a lot of things and I suck at everything else. But a few things I do, I'm very, very strong at. So I look at the world of mentors as that every mentor out there has their superpowers. And what I think about is that how can we create a platform or a marketplace of sorts of all these mentors from all around the world, and make sure an Indonesian founder like yourself or your friends over here can tap into that network and look for the exact mentor they need. Now, this is one of my dreams. So with 500 startups, we have a mentorship platform. Any company we invest in, they join like a peer network. It's like a private social network of sorts, like a private Quora, message board kind of thing, where they have access to 1,500 other founders from 40 countries, as well as 300 topic expert mentors. So how someone like yourself would get mentorship from me, like I would maybe once you build something, let's say I invested in your company, then I would be able to work with you specifically on the things that I can help with. And for all the 999,000 things that I'm terrible at, I can tap into this network to find somebody to help you with it, or you can tap into the network yourself and look for people to help you with those specific things. So what I would say is that a lot of, I grew up in Malaysia as well, right? And we have kind of like the Asian education system. A lot of times we're asked to respect authority. We look at teachers and we think that they know everything and we want them to give us all the answers. We look at our bosses and we want them to give us all the answers. What I see a lot of over here is that a lot of founders look at their investors and say that, okay, you know, you become my mentor, you give me all the answers. I think that a lot of mentors, like I said, are only strong at those few things and they're weak at a lot of things. So what I hope to build for this world and for this region is to give them the access to many, many mentors who are specifically experts at specific things. And for you as a founder, as you go about your life building your companies, you can go out looking for specific experts to help you for that problem for that period of time. So you don't have to rely just on a single mentor for all of your problems, all your woes. So you've got my email address, my Twitter, you got all my, you know, all my communication channels are there. I'm very slow on email, so you send me email, you just tweet me, you know, then I'll go and dive in and try and look for it, you know. So hopefully you can build a company someday outside of your out-of-home industry experience. I'm sure there are problems to be solved there. Then maybe we can work together on your startup. Okay, thank you very much.
Right, thanks, Khailee. All right, so yeah. So next up, this is what we're going to do. The next segment is a fireside session. But first, we're going to take a 15-minute break, so you guys can go to the restroom. You guys can go and visit other booths, but please come back in 15 minutes, all right? So I'll prepare the stage for the first fireside chat, okay? Thanks.